Good evening and welcome to another edition of UST Talk. Tonight, let's talk IT as we enter the world of information technology with Ingramar Bolyas. Tara, let's!
morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope everyone's doing well. Actually, it's my first time to do this UST talk, but welcome to our segment. Today, we're going to discuss about an industry which is close to my heart. That's the information technology, or in short, IT. So hopefully, just enjoy the ride and follow the slides that I'm going to present to you. Medyo wala akong kasama ngayon, unfortunately, si paring Joey wala rito at si Attorney Thea. But they made sure that I'll be set up and ready for this talk. So anyway, we're going to proceed with the presentation. I guess we'll just start with thanks first of all to Kara for helping me going through these slides. So let's proceed with the first slide, Kara, if you don't mind. Just a quick background about myself. Uh, in logos, actually, that's slide number 3. Kara, please. Thanks. Yep. This is pretty much my background in logo. So as you know, I have graduated with a mathematics degree, major in computer science from the University of Santo Tomas. That was way back 1996. That's the era of the golden or the growling tigers. In fact, I believe it was 1992 when they changed it from glowing goldies to growling tigers. So yeah, that's College of Science. Hello to my colleagues, my batchmates from the College of Science. Actually, the shirt that I'm wearing now, it's from my professor, Sir Rico. Sir Rico Yambao is the current chair of the Mathematics and Physics Department of the College of Science. Thanks, Sir Rico, and to my friends out there. Then after graduating, I went to Citibank as a product test analyst. That was 1996 till 97. Then pre-Y2K, if you are familiar with the year 2000 bug or the Y2K bug, I had to venture out to the Middle East, and I joined Riyadh Bank then. That's pre-Y2K to pretty much be part of the Y2K team. Then after that, we did some migration of all the mainframe applications to the systematics platform. Then I met my wife there, Rowena, and my son Lawrence was born there. Then we migrated to Australia back in 2007, I believe. And from 2007, I joined the Microsoft, which was acquired by GBG. Then after that, I started, I believe I've been with GBG for almost 16 years now. And back in 2016, I thought of sharing to the community the knowledge that I gained throughout my career. So I decided to establish Code.Sydney. Code.Sydney is a volunteering organization, a community group which helps nonprofit and charity organizations across Australia while providing real-world experiences to beginner developers or beginner programmers. So it's sort of like a win-win scenario there. So I hope, Kara, if you don't mind going to slide number 4. Thanks. Yep, just waiting for slide number 4. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of technical glitch happening from Kara's side, so I hope you don't mind. Just let's just wait for a while. We're just or she's just switching to mobile hotspot. While waiting, let me grab some water here. So that's pretty normal. Alam to ng mga taga-IT na minsan talagang nagkakaproblema. So unfortunately, medyo tayo na nagkaroon ng problema ngayon. But uh, hopefully we're just going to, resume it. Okay. So I guess while waiting, what I'll do is I'll just proceed with the slides. I hope you don't mind. I'll just pretty much do an impromptu talk. So let's start with the state and significance of the IT industry. Sorry, the slide is not showing up, but the state and significance of the IT industry in Australia in particular is there's like economic contribution, the startup ecosystem, education and research, and digital transformation. Economic contribution, as you are aware of, that's pretty much job creation, business growth, innovation. It also attracts talent or talents overseas to consider Australia as their second home. Another factor that, or pretty much another advantage, is the proximity to the Asia Pacific region. As we all know, Asia Pacific, or in short, ASPAC, is currently in rapid growth phase. And it's not just limited to technology. The startup ecosystem in Australia, particularly in Sydney, where I'm based, is that there are a lot of, or a number of incubators and accelerators and co-working spaces, which fosters entrepreneurship and innovation. With respect to education and research, of course, we all know there are world-class universities here and research institutions as well, which supports the development of future skilled workforce, supplemented by immigration as well. Then, of course, we don't forget that there are some digital transformations happening in across Australia. So, yep. And let me, I think there are some questions. Let me post here and let me just grab my mobile to check whether there are some questions there. I'll stop for a while and let me check.
We're back live, sir.
Oh, we're back. Yep. Yep. Hello, Kara. Yep. Would you mind sharing the slides again, Kara?
Yes, I'm really sorry about that. We
No,
had some technical difficulties.
it's actually it's,
Live po tayo ngayon.
it's eksakto IT yung pinag-uusapan.
Oo nga po. Sige po. Ito na po.
Walang problema doon, Kara. So yeah, I guess let's start with slide number 4, Kara. Yep. I guess I just want to reiterate slide number 4: economic contribution, job creation, business growth, innovation, startup ecosystem, incubators, accelerators, co-working spaces. Then, of course, education and research, which we have all the world-class universities and research institutions. Then digital transformation is happening in various sectors such as finance, healthcare, and government institutions. So I guess I'll just pause here for a second and let me know if you have any questions. Kara, would you can just post it in the comments if ever the question. Hello, John. John Michael Nadal Abril from UNSW. Welcome. And I believe I have here, of course, our Secretary, Banji, and Attorney Thea from Brisbane of OSPAC Visa. She actually let us use her portal, which is StreamYard, for this purpose. Thanks for that, Attorney Thea of OSPAC Visa. Then my classmate Marlet is here as well. Hello, Marlet. And Jem, if he's just lurking beside you. So anyway, yep, let me proceed with that one. If there's no questions, so there's some key players here. As you know, I think everyone is aware. Atlassian is a key player, and Canva. These are homegrown biggie or big tech startups, or actually not a startup anymore. They're somewhat like enterprise level now. So as you know, Atlassian under Gartner's quadrant, it's pretty much the leader in the space of team collaboration and productivity software. So I guess Canva, everyone is aware. Their aim is to make everyone or anyone an artist, even or a graphic designer, even though they are not fully trained for that. That's pretty much the mantra of Canva. They're also global. I think both Atlassian and Canva have offices in Manila now or in the Philippines. Then we do have also Sydney Startup Hub. If you are not familiar with Sydney Startup Hub, that's a government initiative, New South Wales government initiative, where you can even go there for free co-working space I think it's open daily, Mondays to Fridays. It's near Wynyard Station. So that's how supportive the government is. When you have an idea that you want to validate or you want to pursue, then of course, Sydney Startup Hub and Tech Central, by the way, are your go-to places to collaborate and to start your idea. Stone and Chalk, I think this is a pretty much fintech focus. So it's an innovation hub that supports startups in the financial services sector. So if you notice this, with this vibrant ecosystem happening here in Sydney and the full support of the New South Wales government, you can't go wrong, and you can always have that high chance of getting successful in any initiative or tech initiative. So I guess before I proceed with the trends and technologies, I just want to ask or stop briefly before continuing. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So it's sort of like, there's I think Sek Banji just shared the Philo link for Canva. If I remember correctly, the founder of Canva, Melanie Perkins, has a bit of Filipino blood as well. So anyway, if there are no questions for the key players, let's proceed to the next slide, please. Kara, thanks. Yep, trends and technologies. Yep, I guess IT is quite broad, right? It's not just sort of like one area. There are actually a myriad areas around the actual industry. So the first one that I put here is the AI side of things, which we all know is happening now. I mean, particularly the use of ChatGPT across all workplaces. So there's also cybersecurity with the increasing digitalization of businesses and government services. There's a growing emphasis on protecting sensitive data and systems. Cybersecurity, I noticed because my son, actually, we just visited a couple of universities in Sydney, and we noticed that they just recently offered cybersecurity majors in their computing studies. So that's a little bit of it appears it's quite popular for new freshmen, uni freshmen. Next is cloud computing. I know you're familiar with AWS, Azure, and all. So As you know, in the old days, we have data centers wherein you have hardware stored in a small room in your company. Nowadays, all of those are replaced by cloud or in the cloud services, which is, of course, in the cloud services, which enables actually or enable the business to scale, and it improves flexibility and, of course, reduce infrastructure costs. You don't have to buy hardware every year, upgrade every year. You can just spin up an instance in the cloud. So that's how important it is, and that's one of the areas in digital transformation nowadays. So those small businesses, small and medium businesses, before, for example, there's an accounting agency or accounting firm somewhere. Uh, there's a small office there. Before, they had their own data center. They had their own server, but now it's all gone. It's all in the cloud, and they just normally pay by subscription, which is quite handy. Next here are the niche targeted, I guess, approach to computing. There's fintech, health tech, legal tech, prop tech. Fintech, as the name implies, is more like the financial side of things, financial industry. You know, the neo banks, the lenders, and all. Health tech, patient care. Legal tech, as the name implies, it's sort of like in the space of legal system, justice system. I think I've come across a new marketplace app, which is sort of like a marketplace for lawyers. Uh, yeah, I think I forgot whether it has been uh, continued. But anyway, I think there's another one there out there called Legal Vision. So anyway, prop tech is property tech. You know, for those in real estate property, there are also some disruptions happening around property management and all. Blockchain, I think you're familiar with this. It's sort of like there are some applications of blockchain technology in supply chain management across Australia, finance and government services as well, some applications of blockchain. Although honestly speaking, I haven't really explored blockchain myself. Green technology, I guess it's pretty obvious. It's about sustainability because it's a growing concern. So Sydney's or Australia is exploring green technology solutions to address environmental challenges. So again, I'll pause before I proceed to the next slide. Do you have any questions, guys? Yeah, Sec Banji, I'm not really sure. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Sec Banji just asked whether cloud computing is actually still on Earth. I believe so. So anyway, Sec Banji, by the way, she's the secretary of the UST Alumni Australia, and she's been very active member as well. She's also in IT, implementation manager, if I remember correctly, Sec Banji. Yeah. Next slide, please, if there's no question. So roles in IT, I think this is maybe one of the areas that we want to explore. There are, when you get into the industry, it's not just about coding, it's not just about being a developer. It's pretty much like, I think in the subsequent slides, you will see that it's pretty much like any other project management type of or productization of something. It's sort of like a complete end-to-end provisioning of a product or service. So it's not just about coding. There's a lot of peripheral roles around it. So don't think that if you're in IT, you're just a developer, you're just a coder. You can even be in sales. I think maybe if you're in sales right now or marketing or operations, you just need to learn, explore the IT side of the industry, and your skill is, I believe, is something like a transferable to from your current industry. Let's say you're a car salesman. I think I remember one of our sales person at work. It was a Mercedes Benz car salesman before, but he managed to get into the IT industry by just learning, the high level. You don't really need to go deeper into the technical stuff. You just need to know at least how to sell the software. That's all. Same as marketing, same as operations. So if you notice, I started with the non-technical roles because maybe majority of us or many of us here in this session are non-technical. So I just want to let you know that you have a place in the IT industry. So if I go to number one there, infrastructure. When we say infrastructure, we're talking about support, application support, systems administration, network architect, and service delivery manager. The next one, project and change management. It's pretty straightforward. Even in construction business, you have project management, right? You need to control the costs, the resources, and the quality, of course. So project management is no different than the project manager in construction. If you're building a bridge, right, you need to plan ahead. You need to know the materials. Similar to software development, it's just that we're not dealing with actual actual stuff. It's all software. So the next is software development, which is the key. Oh, sorry. Before I proceed to software development, project and change management. The roles will be business analyst, project manager, change manager, enterprise architect, and so on. Next one is software development. That's pretty much the core of IT. I always believe that if you want to get into IT, just learn a little bit of coding. You don't really need to do coding yourself. I think ChatGPT can help you now because you can even ask ChatGPT to develop a web page for you to do a contact form, for example, and it's going to write the code for you. But what I want to say here is that software development is pretty much what the industry is all about. Because if you look at it in a very high level, what we're doing is we're changing a manual process to an automated one. So it's sort of like to simplify it further. It's something like that's the only thing that we do, right, in IT. We just automate something which is manual. And I mean, to say it in a very rudimentary way. So software development, developers, full stack, front end, back end. Maybe you don't really need to know those terms, but it's pretty much like different areas of development. So it's pretty much like when you're a general practitioner, yeah, when you're a doctor, you have a specialization as well. So we have the same in IT. You can be a specialist in Java technology, a specialist in Python technologies or Python and related technologies. You are a specialist in mobile app development like Android and iOS and so on. So yeah, that's software development. Cloud, I think I mentioned it before. It's pretty much just putting all your stuff to the cloud. Actually, just want to clarify that further because I remember the query from Sec Vanji. Cloud is, let's focus on AWS or Amazon Web Services. Cloud is really just another computer out there. It's a real hardware still. It's just that they're selling it for on a subscription basis, so you don't have to buy your own machine. So I believe cloud services have server farms. Like I'm sure it's in an undisclosed location, and it has multiple locations across the globe. So it's sort of like they have server farms where they put all their hardwares in there, and they just pretty much sell subscriptions to anyone who would like access or partition in that in those servers. That's pretty much what cloud is. So it's just another computer somewhere, not in your premise. Then before I proceed to number 5, any questions, guys? Looks like it. Looks like a oh, okay. It looks like sorry. Oh, sorry for that. It appears that I got my screen frozen, and I just got a message from Thea that you can see me and you can hear me. But unfortunately, the screen in front of me is somewhat like it's frozen. So let me just try to refresh it. Let me try to rejoin again. Looks like my screen. Your frame. Okay, I see. The screen is frozen, but it appears you can hear me. I wonder whether I can rejoin again or should I just proceed? Yeah.
You can rejoin again po, sir.
Okay. Okay, the studio is okay. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just quickly proceed and I'll just ask Thea and Kara to somehow, show the respective slide. So, Kara, we are still enrolled in IT, right?
Yes, sir. And we also have a question here from
Yeah.
Attorney Teresa.
I'm just looking at the messages actually from Thea and Kara.
Can, can you hear me po, sir?
I guess while waiting, I'll just proceed with the rest of the roles. ERP and CRM, that's enterprise resource planning or customer relationship management software. Those are specialized software typically used across different businesses. One example there is Salesforce. It has got its own ecosystem. Then there's also data and advanced analytics. I think this is quite popular as well. Data analysts, senior data analysts, data scientists, of course. I think the course is quite popular nowadays. Then there's also cybersecurity, which we discussed earlier. There's penetration tester there. There's like cybersecurity architect and cybersecurity analyst. So we also have roles in testing, which involves, I think, if you you notice the word itself, it says testing. It implies quality assurance to make sure that the software that we're delivering is of high quality. So we do have test analysts, automation test analysts, and QA managers. Then of course we have I think I mentioned it the first time, sales, marketing, operations, and HR. Yep. And I guess I'll add another one there, which is senior leadership or the leadership position like CIO, CTO, and IT manager. So I hope you can see also at the bottom, that's from recent Hayes survey. Across all those projects, I noticed that the average salary range for juniors are around 90K. That's annual. And I think that excludes superannuation. Then there's also, I think the mid part would be around 140 and senior will be 180. That exclude leadership positions, which can reach up to, I think, over the senior ones. So I hope that's clear. Let me pause here for a bit, and if you have any questions. I'll wait for that. I'll wait for the questions. I think hopefully, okay. I just opened another screen here, and I got a question from Thea. What's the most popular for the young ones and has a better job outlook? Uh, that's that's actually a tricky one, but what I noticed for the young ones, they start with web development. So the holy trinity of web development, that's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then they venture out to other aspects of development. Like some of them, especially if you're into data, most likely you would use Python. So any other questions, guys? I think we're going to go through this in the next slide. So yeah, that's the average salary for Australia. Yeah. I think it was from Hayes recent survey. I normally download Hayes survey. Oh, there's a hello, Press Benji. Press Benji Deobago. She's also got a question: how safe are cloud services? It's pretty safe. Yeah, but like any other solutions or software solutions, you need to put the necessary, I guess, protection around it. But yeah, it's pretty safe, and it's being used by large enterprise and government organizations. But honestly, Press Bench, I think in the early 2010s or around 2010, 2011, the government services, the large ones, particularly those in Canberra, they are a little bit hesitant to move to the cloud. But recently, I think recent years, they became open to use it. So any other questions, guys? Yeah, that's true. Sekbaji, it's very much in demand, cybersecurity. And I guess I'll just proceed with, yeah, I think I grab as well top 5 jobs or top 5 jobs employers need to fill. That's also from the same survey. In Australia, the first one would be cybersecurity engineer. Second will be full stack developer. Third is data analyst. Number 4 is business analyst. And lastly, service desk analyst. For New Zealand, because I think Hayes report covers both ANZ region. New Zealand, the first one would be project and program managers, then the business analysis practitioners, followed by senior software engineers, then automation and QA engineers, and lastly, DevOps and cloud specialists. So, yep. I guess, do you have any other questions? Oh, okay, Sec Banji, robotics. Robotics, I haven't really seen a lot of activities around robotics, or maybe because of the the industry where I'm in. I mean the business that I'm in right now, Sec Banji. So, but I'm sure there. I think the only time I came across robotics is with I think Things competition of a small robotic car. So yeah, Yeah, but I'm sure it's one of those that will be explored, especially with the advent of AI. Then Press Benji asks, how does AI affect copyright? Good question. I haven't explored that, Press Benji, but as far as I know, the initial version of AI, particularly ChatGPT, I mean, giving ChatGPT as an example, I believe the only knowledge that they have are already, published publicly. So pretty much they crawl the internet of all of those knowledge base. So yeah, I guess whatever law applies to those applies to the same inside the knowledge base of ChatGPT. But yeah, honestly, no idea yet about the legalities of the use of the knowledge base within ChatGPT. And also, I think since you bring that one up, I also remember a lot of companies are also hesitant to somehow just ask anything and providing data to ChatGPT engine. So I think there's one solution already wherein you can localize a version or an instance of ChatGPT. So you don't really need to contribute your company knowledge to the ChatGPT server. It's pretty much like local. So any other questions? So otherwise, I'll just oh, game developers are also cool. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Sek Banji, game developers. I believe games development. I heard it's quite popular in South Australia, and I think many games development company are actually based in South Australia. Apparently, they had some kind of incentives for games developers. So I wasn't aware of that. Only last month that I learned that there's a lot of them there. And in universities here, there are also some courses around games development. So yeah, and then I'll proceed with the. I really wish that we can share the screen because this this will clearly show the software development life cycle. I just want to share how we develop software. So essentially, it's more of like uh, uh, just. I think before I proceed, I wonder whether Kara, do you? Yep. Can you try to share the actual screen? Is it showing from your side? Can you show it from your side, Kara?
Yes,
The
yes,
yeah. Okay,
sir.
that's good. That's good. Yeah. I think I can see it now in my other laptop. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. It's good to see that we are still progressing, even though I'm stuck. So anyway, software development lifecycle, as what I mentioned earlier, it's pretty much like a construction of any civil engineer or architects, right? That's why we have software architect. We do have, you can even say that the coders are your carpenters and builders. And it's pretty much the same. So you see, we start with planning, we do analysis, we do design, then implementation. Implementation is where coding is. Then testing and integration, the quality assurance. Then of course maintenance. And it's just continuous whenever there's a change request, for example, to the system, just goes back to the same flow. In the old days, this is pretty much, we call it, there are two ways to do this. First is a waterfall approach, or just the old traditional waterfall approach, wherein you will be given a 1 year, let's say, period to develop the software. So you go to 1 month of planning, another month of analysis, then another month of design, and so on. But there's another way of doing it, which is we call agile, or agile software development, wherein we do all of these steps in an iterative manner. So we do that in mini cycles. So you can just think of it like all those 6 steps. We do it in or 5 steps. We do it in 2 weeks cycle. So it's pretty much you can capture any issues upfront instead of waiting for 12 months before you realize that the design is flawed. So yeah, there's a that's pretty much the advantage of advantage of agile development. So next slide, please, Kara. Yeah, this is just sort of like a common meme for in IT, wherein you can see here the different roles. Remember, I told you it's not just a developer, so you have different roles as well. And this shows the software development life cycle as well. So the customer explains something, how the project leader understood it, how the engineer designed it, and the programmer wrote it, and so on. So if you look at the last frame, it just shows what the customer really wants. So you can see all the gaps there, right? There are a lot of areas where you will see that it can go wrong. Like for example, even the customer itself, right? They don't know what they want. Apparently, what they want is the last frame, but how they explained it to the project team is totally different. So these are the things that we want to avoid whenever we do software development. The earlier you catch all of this, the lesser the cost. So yeah, I just want to share it with you that this is pretty common scenario, and it's a bit costly, especially if you reach to the last frame and you realize it's totally a different solution. This is also the reason why we do idea validation, right? Let's say you're a startup, you have an idea, you don't engage full a commercial grade software development team unless you validate your idea first, and we call it the minimum viable product or MVP. An MVP does not necessarily need to be a product itself. It can just be a survey or even a story. So it's always best to somehow validate your idea first before you go through all these steps. Next slide, please, Kara. Thanks, Kara. Oh, this is my photo. I just want to share with you. I think we're going to jump into coding now. We are left with 15 minutes. So that was my photo. That's pre-Google days. You notice all the books at the back because we cannot Google any solution at that time. We had to really read the manuals. So you can see how it changed a lot, right? Hold on. I think I have a question here. How can we align the IT position? Uh, for IT completer, most of the entry level the IT field are non-IT course. Mostly they have the referral person, they can work on IT entry level. Uh, Elvin, sorry, Elvin, is it okay if because can you rephrase your query or your question, Elvin? How I understand that is that you're assuming that all entry level position in the IT field are non-IT are non-IT, or what's that, in IT field or non-IT course or something. Would you mind rephrasing it, Elvin? And I should be able to answer you. But I think in very high level, what I feel is that you're asking something like around the alignment of the course with the IT position. I'm not sure whether that's correct, but yeah, I'll wait for your rephrase answer, Elvin. Now, actually the next few slides, it will be quick. It's actually, I just grabbed them from, what's that, Stack Overflow survey. So, Kara, I think we'll just go through this quickly. So, Kara, the next slide, please. So yeah, coding, we're still in coding, by the way. So educational attainment, if you notice here that 41.16% of developers are still have a bachelor's degree. Some have master's degree, but it doesn't mean that you cannot get into into the coding field. I think you can see here some college and some college university, the third one, and secondary high school in the US. There, although it's not that much, but there's a chance. Next slide, please, Kara. Thanks. Yep, learning how to code. How do we learn to code? I think this is pretty much the answer from around almost 100,000 respondents of the Stack Overflow survey. The very first one, online resources. That's the good thing with the internet. Everything is there now. You can always just buy courses, Coursera, those MOOCs or massive online open courses. That's Coursera, Udemy, Pluralsight, all of those. You can easily learn anything now. Actually, even a proper degree can be obtained online, I believe. Then, of course, the old school books, physical media, and there's still a lot of developers who graduated from universities and colleges. You can see 50% there. Learning how to code from universities and colleges. So, but of course, all of those are also doing online courses. So yeah, I just want to highlight that the top most way of, or the most popular way to learn how to code is through online resources. Next slide, please, Kara. Thanks. Yep. I think this one is more of like the respondents, the number of years of coding for those respondents. I think majority of the respondents are less than a decade. So between 5 to 10 years, 14 years, I think. And the list goes on. Next one, Kara. Yeah, developer type. I think I mentioned this to you. There can be a full stack developer. I think it's best for me to just explain what full stack developer is. So whenever you have an app in your phone, let's say it's a marketplace app. What's a popular marketplace app in Australia? I forgot, service seeking or something like that, wherein or Uber actually. A full stack developer knows how to code whatever you see on your phone, which is the face of the app or the actual user interface. But they also know how to code the back end engine, the databases, the APIs, or the bridges, or the API is sort of like a bridge, an application programming interface which connects to the database in the background. So that's why it's called full stack. There's like in every app, there are layers. So there are front end developers, which are mostly doing those things that we see, like the user interface, the navigational journey, and all. Then we do have back end developers, which are more like dealing with those nitty gritty stuff in the background, like databases, application programming interfaces, and also if you're a full stack, you know both worlds essentially. And apparently 33.48% of the respondents are full stack developers. So next, please, Kara. Yeah, geography, this survey is global, so you can see that majority of the respondents are from the States, followed by Germany and India, I believe, then UK. Australia, I think it's around the bottom, 2.36, but at least there are respondents from Australia as well. I'm sure there are a lot of developers in the Philippines, but I'm not sure why it's not showing here. You know, the maybe it's sort of like I'm not sure whether they have done selective respondents, but yeah. Next, please, Kara. Thanks. Yeah, the age here, the respondents are mainly around 20s, late 20s, and 35 to 44. Actually, majority is 25 to 34. So yeah, I think I belong to almost like the retiring age. Next one, please, Kara. Thanks. So yeah, this is actually we're getting a bit technical here, but I hope you don't mind. I'll just quickly share it. These are programming languages. So I remember I mentioned to you that we have different specialties as well. The apps that you're seeing, it can be written in different languages, like natural language. You really need to learn and be good at one language at least when you're a developer. And majority of young people, I think they ask that question. They focus on JavaScript. That's mainly web development and HTML, CSS. That's what I mentioned. Those three. Then Python for data science and machine learning and all. I personally love or like Python because of the simplicity of its syntax and semantics. Then, of course, the SQL and so on. Next one, Kara. I think the next one will be databases. So database is where you store data. So these are mainly being used by backend developers. The popular relational database management engines, or where you put your data in a structured manner, is Postgres or PostgreSQL. That's the most popular one. I guess that's enterprise grade, same as MySQL. SQLite, that's for rapid development, being used by startups to do some kind of idea validation. MongoDB is a NoSQL type of database. But yeah, in general, for those non-techies in here, that's pretty much where you store your data. You can just think of it like the Excel of the app. So it's just more, sophisticated Excel. Next one, please, Kara. Yeah, I think this is the last slide actually. As you know, AI or ChatGPT is heavily changing the landscape of software development. Uh, but I believe it's for the better, particularly productivity. Actually, even at work, a lot of my colleagues are already utilizing it to expedite or ramp up their productivity. It can actually write code for you, and sometimes it's better than uh, than your actual code. So anyway, you can see here that they developers were asked what do they think the impact of AI is in their work, and you can see the purple ones and the blue ones on the left. That's pretty much saying that it's going to change how they work very differently. Second one is somewhat different, but for those two, they are already acknowledging the fact that it's going to change things, and I'm sure it's going to be for the better. So that's pretty much it. I think we still have 5 minutes. Can you go to the next slide, Cara? Because that's pretty much when I ask questions. Any questions, guys? How about the education sector? Oh yeah, I think I haven't really seen edutech right in my slides, Joey or Parin Joey. But yeah, good question. I believe from education side of things, we already know that those online courses has got its own management system already, which is sort of like a starting point of automating the education side of things. But maybe maybe it can be maybe AI. I feel AI is going to disrupt education sector as yet. But I mean education sector, but I don't know as yet how, honestly, Joey. But I'm sure there's also like an impact to the education sector. Thanks for asking, Joey. Any other questions, guys? How to get a local AI? GPT version. Yeah, I believe there's one, Thea, but I have yet to explore it myself because I really like how how ChatGPT, or we call it LLMs, or large language model, is going to disrupt pretty much anything or pretty much any business. So I remember even doing a small POC, we call it POC, or proof of concept, wherein I pretend there's a small company. There are databases for their operations, databases for customer support tickets, database for finance, for invoicing, billing, and database for potential leads and accounts. And when I implemented a sort of like a consolidated view of all of those records using AI, I didn't even do anything. I just fed all of those databases in ChatGPT. It's dummy data anyway, and it's able to answer my question across all of those business units. So you can clearly see there the potential or the power of giving you immediate information, immediate informed, I guess, or data or information for potential rapid decision making. Any other questions, guys? That's true, yeah. That's true, Sek Banji. Online learning is powered by tech. And I think, I always make sure that I at least I learn one thing every year. So it looks like we only had 2 minutes. I guess I apologies for I forgot a guy. If you can just message me directly, I'm happy to talk to you. And any one of you just message me. You can also reach out to me via Code.Sydney. So that's www.code.Sydney. It's our volunteer group. Yeah, I'm happy to help anyone. So that's it for now, I guess. And I hope I gave you some insights from the industry that I'm working on. Yeah, so I guess my farewell message to everyone, especially the Tomasians who are here. We just need to make sure that in anything that we do, we just keep the 3 C's, right? Compassion, competence, and commitment. So compassion first before competence and commitment. So yeah, that's it. And good night, everyone. And enjoy the rest of the week.
We would like to thank our sponsors: Western Union, OSCAP Visa,